Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm out of the classroom on my final learning walk at a nearby district. I'll be back tomorrow and expect a wonderful report. If you haven't done so already, please give last night's homework to the sub, make sure your name's on it, and prepare for today's lesson. You will be working on classwork homework day 8, which means whatever you don't finish in class is homework. Have a good day. If you haven't had an opportunity to take a look at the warm-up, please take maybe 2 minutes to work either on your own or with a partner to get this done. This is a review of markup, okay, and a few other topics that we learned previously this unit. Feel free to pause the video and come back whenever you're ready to review the warm-up. Now that you've taken a look, let's go over this. The question says, a store that sells skis buys them from a manufacturer, okay, that's a factory, at a wholesale price of $57. Okay, wholesale is that original factory price. And then the store marks it up 50%. So the first question is, what price does the store charge its customers? Okay, so after they mark up the price, what are they actually selling those skis for? Okay, so we know that we're going to pay 100% of the factory price plus the 50% markup, which is 150%. Okay, so if we do 100% plus the percent times the original, that will give us our total or our final payment price. Okay, so we have 150% right here, which we know if we move our decimal over, we're going to be substituting 1.5 or 1.50 times that original price of 57 is going to equal that final selling price, and you should get $85.50. Please check and correct your paper. And then we'll take a look at part B, which asks us what percent of the original is the final price. Okay, this is taking you back to what, day 1, day 2, when we did is over of. Okay, and this is not the only path you could take, but it is certainly one of them. The of belongs to the original price. The is belongs to the final. So we have final of 85.50 over the original 57 equals x over 100. When you solve, you should get that x equals 1.5. But remembering that we're looking for a percent, we know we need to move this over twice, and we get 150%. And if we think logically about this question, this should make sense to us, because the original price is always your 100%. Now you're paying 100% of that tag price or that factory price, plus a markup of 50%. Your final price is 150% of where you started. Take a moment to pause and get situated, and then flip the page so we can start. Today we are learning about commission. Okay, we have a few definitions. So go ahead and write these down, and I'll explain as you do. The commission is the amount of money a salesperson earns by making a sale. Okay, the amount of money a salesperson earns by making a sale. Okay, there's all sorts of salespeople. There's people who go door to door and try to sell you fancy knives or windows or whatever it may be. There's car salesmen. There's people who sell houses, right? We have realtors, all sorts of people who earn money by selling things. And the more you sell, the more you earn. We also have what's known as a fixed salary, which is a regular payment that a person earns for performing work during a specific period of time. Okay, so a fixed salary is your paycheck. Okay, and if you want to make a little note, okay, if you go to work, you show up, you do what you're supposed to do, you get paid. Normally, you get a check every 2 weeks. Sometimes you get one every week. Maybe you do your salary monthly, or when you sign your contract, your boss might tell you how much you earn in a whole year. Okay, your yearly or annual salary. Okay, but as long as you're showing up for your job, you're going to get that fixed amount. Okay, the same amount in your paycheck every week. And then we have what's called your total salary, which is the total income before deductions. It's the total amount of money coming into your pocket before we have taxes or other things that need to be paid. And this is kind of how I remember total salary. It's your fixed salary, okay, or your paycheck plus your commission, and that's going to be your total income. Okay, so the way this works is, let's say a car salesman shows up to work, okay, does what they're supposed to do. They go home with a check every 2 weeks. Okay, it gets deposited in their bank account. But if they sell you a car, they get extra, and that's what we call commission. Now, this is incredibly important. You can only get commission when you sell something. Okay, so that fixed salary, okay, for just showing up to work, you don't get extra money for that. Okay, so for people like me, okay, teachers, we just get a fixed salary. Okay, I'm not selling anything. I don't get extra money every time you pass a test. Okay, as long as I'm there and I'm doing my job and doing a good job, I keep my job and I keep getting paychecks. But a salesman earns this extra only if they make a sale. Okay, so commission is totally linked with sales, and that makes the formula a little bit unique. If you take a look here, I'm hoping you see some similarities. Okay, we have percent times original equals part of your money. Okay, hopefully you're recognizing that this is the exact same thing as Formula 1 that we've been using for tax and tip and markup and markdown and everything else we've been talking about so far. What's special about this is that it's always percent times the amount of sales gives you the amount of commission. And when you're talking about commission, you're never going to be using Formula 2 because commission is never, ever your total salary. Okay, and I think if we do some examples, you'll really see what I mean. Feel free to pause and rewind if you need some extra time with the vocab, and then flip the next page so we can start our examples. So what I have for you is 4 examples of commission, and for each one I'm going to do an example, then you'll pause the video, try one yourself, and come back to me, and we'll continue that way until you have all examples. So example 1 says, Mike makes a commission of 10% on each TV set sold at the store. Each TV costs $120. How much money will he make as commission if the store sells 25 TV sets? Okay, so step 1 is to calculate the amount of sales if necessary. Sometimes they'll just come right out and tell you this is how much was sold, but in this particular case, you do need to calculate a little bit. We have 25 TVs being sold at $120 each, which gives us $3,000 in sales. Okay, and now we know that Mike gets to make commission on 10% of that. Okay, so we write our formula. You can write our generic one, Formula 1, or you could write the commission specific that looks like this. Percent times sales equals the amount of commission. And we'll substitute what we have. Okay, 10% written as a decimal is 0.10 times the $3,000 sales will give us the amount of commission that Mike is making. And if you go ahead and multiply, you should be getting $300 commission. Okay, so it's almost like a bonus. Like you earn this extra money by doing a good job. So he sold a lot of TVs and he gets to take home $300. Take a moment to pause and rewind and rewatch as necessary, and then complete the you try problem with your partners. Should only take you maybe a minute or so. Now that you've had a time to try this problem, let's go over it quickly. You have percent times sales equals commission. 2% written as a decimal times the $300,000 that the house sold for should give you a $6,000 commission. Correct your answer as needed and then flip the page. Example 2. Salesman Randy gets a fixed salary of $2,000 per month. Okay, so that's his paycheck. And he gets a commission of 2% on the sales. If the total sale is $30,000 for the month, find his total salary. Okay, so his total income. We don't have to calculate the sales this time. They come right out and tell you that that's $30,000. But we do need to calculate his commission. Remember, commission is only on what's sold. So this $2,000 paycheck has nothing to do with commission, and that's where a lot of students get confused. Okay, so let's start with our commission. Percent times sales equals commission. 2% as a decimal is 0.02. Times the $30,000 sale will give us our commission. Once you multiply, you should be getting a $600 commission. But that's not his total salary. That's not the total amount of money he earns that month. He also gets $2,000 in his paycheck. So we take the $2,000 plus the $600, and we see that he is earning $2,600 total income this month. Take a moment to pause, rewind, rewatch, and then I want you to try the you try problem with your neighbor. This one is going to require you to calculate the amount of sales, so it'll take a few extra minutes. Don't worry about it. Pause and come back to me when you're ready to review it. Okay, now that you've given this a try, let's review it. So we have a basic salary, okay, that's the paycheck, $622 per month, plus 0.52%. Okay, this is technically still written in percent form, which means you still need to move that decimal. So when we go substitute that value in, you're going to be plugging in 0.0052. Next, we need to figure out how much was sold. So we have 22 silver necklaces at $800 each. Okay, so 22 times 800 is 17,600. And then we also have 31 gold necklaces at $2,000 each. So I have 31 times 2,000 equals 62,000. Okay, when I add those up, I'm getting $79,600 in sales. Okay, so big sales should mean a relatively big commission, although his rate is teeny tiny. So we have to be logical about how those are going to balance each other out. Start with commission. Percent times sales equals commission. 0.0052 times 79,600 equals the amount of commission. When you multiply, you should have got $413.92 commission. And then to get that total salary, that total income, we take the paycheck, $622, plus the $413.92, line up your decimal points, and you should get $1,035.92. total. Correct your paper as needed and then flip the page. Example 3, a salesperson made $890.50 selling $6,850 worth of electronic equipment. Find the commission rate. Remember that word rate means percent. So we're finding percent this time, which means they must have given you your commission, which is this $890.50, and they gave you the amount of sales. And we're solving for percent. So we look at our formula. We can substitute what was given. This is X, that's what you're looking for. $890.50 is the amount of sales. Oops, I did that backwards, didn't I? That's your commission. Okay, $6,850 in sales. $890.50 is your commission. Draw your river. Divide by 6,850. And you should get 0.13, which we know is a 13% commission rate. Take a moment to get that down and then do the you try problem. Pause and come back when you're ready. For this question, you should have X times 80,000 equals 3,200. When you solve, you get 0.04 or 4% commission rate. Check and correct your paper, then flip the page. Last one, here we go. A real estate agent earned a commission of $6,875 for earning a house. Okay, so we have the amount of commission. We also have the rate, which is 2.5. We want the selling price or the amount of sales. Okay, so commission is $6,875. Our rate is 2.5, and we plug that in, we'll do 0.025, and we're looking for sales. So percent times sales equals commission. We'll substitute what was given. 0.025 times X equals 6,875. Draw your river. Divide by 0.025. X equals 275,000 for that house. You have one more you try problem. Come back to me when you're done. For this one, you should have had 0.25 times X equals 10,800. That's a pretty large commission, so you should expect a pretty large sale. And when you solve, you do indeed get $43,200. Finish checking your work and then flip to the rest of the packet. You'll notice it's all practice. So you can work on this with a partner or on your own. Whatever you don't finish is homework, and I can answer any questions you have tomorrow in class. Have a good afternoon.